Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today we're going to watch part 2 of a Pearl Harbor veteran survival story. When I had the opportunity to interview Bob Rains, a Pearl Harbor veteran, I was ecstatic at the opportunity to do that because there really aren't too many veterans left. And now you'll have the chance to experience what it was like to survive that horrific day on December 7th, 1941.
3 days before the land, I was supposed to make a landing there, and two minesweeps. Got wine in there, didn't I? Two of our minesweeps got sunk by mines. And so they backed off and thought about it for a while and decided to switch it from the east side around to the west side of Korea, which was Incheon. And we prepared a landing there and got General MacArthur, and he was overall in charge of the area, and our admiral, Admiral Doyle, and then all the other admirals around there came aboard for the landing at Incheon. And as soon as the landing was complete and the airfield at Kempo was cleared for landing, MacArthur had his plane come in and pick him up and a lot of the others, and they left. But we took and stayed there until the main battle at Incheon was over. And we went back to Tokyo and got resupplied and everything and ammunition, and then came back up. We took and was on the east coast at Hungnam, which was above the parallel that we were supposed to be at, supplying the Marines and the Army with the supplies, backing them up when the Chinese entered the war and backed down the line. They called it an organized retreat, but they were getting backshot all along down there. So we stayed in there in Hungnam, taking aboard casualties, because we had quite a medical force. And the last day, the fighter planes were coming in from the carriers, and they were dive bombing with napalm over this one hill, keeping them down there till we got all our people and supplies out. And then underwater demolition went in and blew up the pier and everything else, and we steamed out of there. But that was my involvement there for Korea. Went back for a couple times to resupply and such as that. But then after 14 months over there, I got to come back to the States and got stationed at the Naval Amphibious Base at Coronado, California. I stayed with them there for 5 years, making 2 tours over into the Japanese and Philippine area. And then I came back and had another arrest and got orders and sent to Shanghai, China. And then moved north up to Tsingtao, China, up on the northeast coast of China. And we were more or less under the undertaking duties which involved the Red Chinese started moving into China. And I was over there about 5 months, and all of a sudden the Red Chinese got pretty close, so they decided to move out. And again, I came back to the States and had a good 30 days leave. But then the rest of the time, I was at San Diego Naval Training Center and training recruits. And it didn't agree with me. Anyhow, I asked for a transfer out of there, and I got transferred on to a new destroyer. And while it was still in the yard, and then involved in the commission, and then to sea with it. But I got signed to a ship transport and made a couple trips in 58 over to the Philippines. Then I come back and got shore duty up in Seattle. And I stayed there until I retired out of the Navy. But I retired after 20 years. And I moved out to being a civilian, and I got a job with the Department of Defense. And I was with security over at Sandpoint Naval Air Station. And I stayed there until you're interrupting me there. Knock it off. Stayed there until 1979. And then I retired from the Department of Defense as Chief of Security over at Sandpoint. And then we moved over here and built us our home. And that was where we remained till my wife died. But that's about it.
So when did you enlist in the Navy? I mean, how far did you advance in the ranks? And then when you were there too, once you got to Pearl Harbor, give me a little bit of the backstory. I'm kind of curious to see how you decided to get into the Navy before everything went crazy.
Well, I was born in Olympia and raised in Shelton. I decided to join the Navy after my brother did. I joined in February 1941 and boot camp down in San Diego. And then I got assigned to the Pennsylvania. and went aboard her in June and enjoyed some of the peacetime Navy. Now, we had several exercises out at sea with different battleships practicing towing each other. Maybe after damage had been done, we had firing exercises. And then we had our days off where we could go ashore and go swimming or do whatever. And now on the morning of December 7th, this is not good. I came in late Saturday night, and I slept up on the bridge on my duty station. I had a cot up there. The first thing I heard was the anti-aircraft fire from the ship. That woke me up. And of course I ran around in this alcove where I slept to see what was going on, and right away they told me we were at war. He said, "Go get dressed." Well, I was in my uniform anyhow. White shirt and a t-shirt and white shorts. That was the uniform of the day. I was sleeping there. I changed right into it when I came back off liberty. But that was I'm stumped.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. So when the attack started, I mean, did you smell things here? What did you feel? I'm trying to. What was the initial?
There was a.
Kind of take me through that if you can.
Well, when I found out what was going on, and I was separated from another group. We had one group that was put in a casemate there. A casemate was an armor 16 inches thick. And I took and stayed there for about 20 minutes and then right back out on the bridge again and to observe what was going on. Now, there was no chance at all of being scared. There's no. It was exciting, you might say. But we thought about it all that night and the next day. What the heck actually happened? And while we worked to repair the ship, we got after that first attack, we got a break to 15% of our division to go down and get some soup because we hadn't had breakfast, a lot of us. But while we were down there eating, there was a great big explosion, and we thought, here they come again. Everybody scattered, mess kits flying. We got top side and got back to our battle stations and everything, and here it happened to be a 50-foot motor launch had been hit by this bomb that they dropped on the ship, and it went through and went down below and exploded. Well, we had big cranes on board, and they lifted that motor launch up to take it off, get it out of the way, and they dropped it. And that was the big explosion. But I mean, everybody just knew we were getting hit again. But that, back to cleaning up the damage and everything. And of course, we lived on our battle station and everything, our workspace was right on the bridge. And we communicated with the other ships visually, either by flag or semaphore or Morse code, whatever the case may be. Well, our halyards that we run the flags up on were blown away. And so then we had to take and relace all them flags, pulleys and everything else, so we could run up our flags. One side was clear, but the port side was pretty well blasted away.